Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. But this video is gonna be a little bit different. It's Sunday. I figured I'd change it up a little bit. I always follow what the rich, wealthy, and elites focus on, regardless of what the market is doing. When the BIS, IMF, World Bank, World Economic Forum, and central banks highlight XRP and XLM, pay attention. Ripple's global payment rails and licenses, plus Stellar's efforts to bank the unbanked, keep me holding and stacking XRP and watching XLM closely. The future is so clear to me. It almost seems obvious. We know XRP and XLM were always the chosen ones. XRP for the banks, XLM for the people. But you are invested in what the elites see as the future. And we know Brad Garlinghouse is also tied in with the World Economic Forum. But it's not just Brad Garlinghouse. There's so many other people that are tied into the elites. And I think that happened for a reason, because they're creating an entire new financial system. The Ripple technology and XRP combined moves money around the world in a matter of seconds at a very cheap price. But also, Larry Fink is another one tied in with the World Economic Forum. Look what he has planned for Bitcoin. BlackRock's plans for the future of Bitcoin, the cashless society, is a major goal. Now, we know Larry Fink was always on board for the cashless society. When he first got involved with Bitcoin, I said, BlackRock is going to be a Trojan horse. Wait and see. People laughed. They said, BlackRock getting involved with Bitcoin is the most bullish thing that could ever happen. But now they're talking about the Bitcoin supply, that it's not fixed at 21 million. They're also talking about forking Bitcoin. Why does that have to happen? Well, Bitcoin was always looked at as competition for a central bank digital currency. Now, BlackRock may be looking to end Bitcoin after all. And I don't think it's just BlackRock, though. I think it's a combined effort to take down Bitcoin. And I even think that Michael Saylor is part of this, because all of a sudden he's so bullish on Bitcoin and his hype is at a new all-time high. But a lot of people are worried about this as well. This is absolutely wild. After the 2000 dot-com bubble burst, it took nearly 20 years for the most expensive U.S. internet stocks to recover. This was despite their sales growing by a whopping 1,030% over this time. And a lot of people are thinking when the crypto bubble pops that we could go into 20 years of a bear market. I'm not sold on that idea. Can it happen? Anything is possible. But I think we are on the verge of a new financial system. I also think we are on the verge of utility really pushing up the price of a lot of these cryptocurrencies. But I do believe it's going to change the crypto space forever once it happens. And a lot of people are saying Michael Saylor was the reason that the dot-com bubble popped in the first place. He lost $6 billion in a day. Someone said Saylor's the one that popped the dot-com bubble and will also be the one to pop the crypto bubble. But I'd like to think this time is different. His whole strategy at MicroStrategy looks like it's destined to fail. Is it going to be a controlled crash? That's the big question, because everybody always talked about a massive crash before the rise of the Phoenix, before the rise of the new financial system. Could it start in the crypto space? Nobody really knows for sure. Yes, by 2025, there will be likely 5 mainstream public blockchains. This supports Bank of America's claim that 99% of crypto in existence will disappear. As the market matures, many projects will likely fail, leaving only the most robust and scalable platforms to thrive. By looking at the diagram below, it's clear that the XRP ledger will be one of the mainstream blockchains. Ripple being illustrated as the largest entity in the charts is no mistake. The prominent positioning of Ripple indicates it's perceived as a leading force in the blockchain payment ecosystem. This strategic representation reflects strong confidence in the future relevance of Ripple and the XRP ledger. It is clear that smart money has identified the winners of the crypto space early. And I think all the smart money is going to move into XRP, XLM, XDC, these ISO cryptocurrencies. I do believe this is all going to play out in 2025. Think about it. The hype right now for Bitcoin is at a new all-time high. They're trying to onboard a lot of retail because they're going to need retail as that exit liquidity when the crash happens. BlackRock will get the call before it even happens. Most likely Saylor as well. They'll be out. The crash will come, then all of a sudden they will come up with a solution. But when they're telling you 99% of crypto will disappear, I think maybe 3 meme coins will survive. Most likely Doge, SHIB maybe 1 or 2 others. But for the most part, most of crypto is going to be gone. And this crash, we all know, is coming. Brad Garlinghouse called for it. Lehman Baird over there at Hedera, he thinks it's going to happen as well. Then all of a sudden, everything's going to switch over. XRP is the real digital gold for banks. Don't take my word for it. Look at the documentation. Former Ripple CTO Stephen Thomas. Banks will have gold that you can teleport into any vault in the world instantly by using XRP. And I think a lot of Bitcoin maxis stole that from Stephen Thomas a long time ago. In 2013, a marketing brochure for XRP advertised the token as like gold in your hands, and it was designed to be the most liquid token on the ledger. Third image titled Teleporting Gold, and proceeds to describe how XRP will solve banks' liquidity issues while mentioning Basel III compliance, and even exposes Ripple's big idea behind when XRP will be used by banks when the liquidity gets high enough. That means we have to go to a high price as that liquidity crisis begins. XRP already has to be at a high price because the XRP is going to solve that massive liquidity problem. The crash and then the rise of the Phoenix. And even when you talk about digital gold, they're tokenizing gold now. Imagine moving gold around the world in a matter of seconds. But I do believe the whole idea of Bitcoin being digital gold was stolen from Stephen Thomas. Quantum computers see 5 years away from breaking Bitcoin. The threat is real. So now a physicist predicts Bitcoin will be threatened by quantum computers in about 5 years. It comes after Google made strides in quantum computing last week. Now we know the XRP ledger will become quantum proof as this rises. And they're saying within 5 years. Well, that tracks with Agenda 2030. Digital ID is required for Agenda 2030. Reject digital ID, reject CBDC, reject their dystopian slavery. I am not a fan of CBDCs, but if you look at this timeline, I always said Agenda 2030 is not going to happen in 2030. They're never going to tell you, hey, listen, in 2030, we already have this whole future planned out for you. It's going to happen much sooner. The timeline has changed multiple times on this. We have countries ready to go live with a central bank digital currency next year, one after another. This is most likely going to happen within the next 2 years. Even when they say that quantum computers are going to break Bitcoin, within the next 5 years. It's most likely going to happen within the next 2 years. But this shows you that everything we see is still on track for where everything is headed. They have to get rid of Bitcoin. They can't have competition to a central bank digital currency. Trump says the United States is not going to have a central bank digital currency. Our central bank digital currency in the US is going to be sold as the digital dollar stablecoin. It could even be RLUSD. And look at what Ripple plans to do. They also plan to launch stablecoins in other countries as well. So Ripple might be creating central bank digital currencies for one country after another. We really don't know the entire plan there yet. I'm just speculating a little bit on that. But everything on the timeline is going according to plan. You have to get rich if you want to stay off the central bank digital currency system, in my opinion. I did videos where I talk about a parallel system. And the reason I talked about that is because the ECB has talked about that. The BIS has talked about that. The World Economic Forum even talked about parallel payment systems away from a CBDC, running side by side with a central bank digital currency. If you're rich, you're not going to be under a central bank digital currency having your transactions being traced. I think only people that get government money, universal basic income with the rise of AI, they will be on central bank digital currency. Rich people will be transacting possibly even in crypto. You know, think about it like this. You're holding a cryptocurrency that can move central bank digital currency from one country to another. It's also going to be moving central bank digital currency within that country from person to person. Even XLM can be looked at a lot in the same way. But the reason I wanted to do this video, it's kind of like to let you know what a central bank digital currency is. All it is a stable coin issued by the government. What is Ripple creating? Stable coins. They even called it Real USD. Think about that. That could be our central bank digital currency. That could also be why Ripple was meeting with Donald Trump over the summer. But we're not quite there yet. And the dot-com bubble, when that popped, that 20 years of bear market, can that happen in crypto? It could possibly happen. But if you look at everything that's going on, it doesn't look likely for these utility-driven cryptocurrencies. I think they're going to continue to gain momentum as more and more utility is pushing the price. And how is that going to happen? You're going to have institution after institution onboarding into this space. You know, there's a lot of financial institutions that aren't even involved with crypto yet. I think maybe some of those could possibly even be under NDA with Ripple. We will most likely get those announcements later. Even beyond that, there's going to be bank after bank onboarding with RippleNet technology as well. I just talked about in that previous video the liquidity crisis that's coming. They're already telling you the banks are going to have a liquidity issue. I think they're going to consolidate the banks. That crash might happen at the same time you have the crash of Tether and so on. Like a chain of events, one massive crash leading us into a new financial system. But we'll talk more about that as we get closer. But this is why I invest in what the elites see as the future. This is why I urge you to put your money in what the elites see as the future. Because it's the way you break away from universal basic income, break away from central bank digital currency. You want that financial freedom? You gotta hold what they see as the future. The crypto space is changing. You already see it happening. We are on the verge of crypto regulations and a massive wave of institutional investors getting involved in this space ahead of ISO 222, which goes live next year as well. BRICS Pay goes live in 2025. Everything is happening at the same time, and it seems like they picked 2025 to be the year that everything happens. But until it does happen, you gotta stay patient, stay positive. We are getting rich together. With that said, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I wanna thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.